Good morning, everyone. July 19th, Sunday, July 19th, financial news. Lots of stuff going on, of course. And kind of starting off with, I did some rough math on what the big banks set aside for bad debt. I know we talked about it a couple of times this week, and that I highlighted that that was going to be something that I wanted to watch. I think it was last Sunday, where I said, we're going to find out what the banks see in our economy, and it's going to be about how much money they're setting aside for bad debt. And lo and behold, looks like the total from the big four is Q2 is more than Q1. By my math, Q2, 16 billion plus. Q1 was right around 10 billion. So what is that, a 60% uptick? Wells Fargo clearly set aside the most. They went from about 2.2 billion in Q1 to 6 billion. So clearly a lot of that, let's call that, what did that be? 3.8 of the 6 is Wells Fargo. Interestingly enough, Bank of America is the only one that went down. And their Q2 reserve went down from Q1. Still setting aside more, but the rate was down. So pretty interesting. Read an article, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal this morning, about Jamie Dimon, and he's basically saying no one knows. No one knows what the second half is going to bring. He did highlight that the bank is a little bit more, I guess negative would be the word, on Q2, right? They've reset what they call the base case is. For example, unemployment, they now target 11% base case, where just last quarter, it was in the sevens. So, I think a lot of this has to do with obviously what we're seeing across the Sun Belt. We are seeing consumers change behavior. And as a consumer-driven economy, when you have, basically 1 in 10 unemployed, that hurts, right? So it's going to be interesting. Just for grins, he did highlight their worst case scenario. Clearly, the worst case scenario includes another shutdown of much of the economy, which let's all wish and hope does not happen. That would be bad. But they see in a worst case scenario, staying with unemployment, it could exceed 20%. They peg it at 23%. So lots of stuff going on. I don't know about you, but I think I've been clear. I'm a Gary V fan. In fact, I give Gary V full credit for this daily financial news. Was one of his, I think it was a YouTube video I was watching where he challenged people to do stuff daily. So Gary, thank you. But he apparently has a show that I need to watch called Ready, Set, Grow. I just saw a clip of it. He was basically speaking with somebody who's pivoted their business. They used to be a pet groomer with a store and a fixture, and obviously this health crisis has caused that to shut down. So they've picked up basically mobile grooming. And Gary Vee gave him some examples about underpriced attention, which is his thing, and ads and things of that nature. So I'm a big Gary Vee fan. I think he's positive. I think he's always positive. So I'm going to watch that. I don't know if anybody else has seen it. I don't know if it's web only. Maybe it's not on TV. Maybe it's web only. I don't know. But called Ready, Set, Grow. So I like Gary Vee. I'm going to go try to search that out and see it. Next up, I don't know if you saw it, but one of the big three sports, baseball, football, basketball, actually played a game yesterday. It was it didn't count, right? It wasn't part of their 60-game season, but man, live sports was on yesterday and I missed it. I'm not really a baseball fan, too slow. But yeah, the Phillies and the Nationals, the Philadelphia Phillies and the Washington Nationals played a game yesterday. And I wonder how it felt to those players who probably haven't played in front of that few of fans, basically zero fans, probably since they were in junior high. It had to feel weird, right? A stadium of what? I don't know what stadiums hold, 25,000? Just no one there, echoing. You could hear people talking. It was probably pretty weird. So, anyways, somebody played a live sports game. I'm getting tired of reruns on various channels. I did see that a lot of the folks are upgrading stocks. I pulled two of them out there. Apple was raised from 310 to 444, and then ServiceNow from 372 to 500. Again, betting on the winners. Yeah, I think ServiceNow. I mean, of those two, kind of has a nice upside. They've been killing it for a long time. I just wonder what happens to Apple if the consumer changes and says, we're going to stop buying phones as much as we did, and who needs $1,000 phone and all of that. But Apple really is becoming a content provider as well. So nobody can count out Apple. I think both Apple and ServiceNow are great companies. And what are they? Probably, I think ServiceNow is a little closer to me. It's probably 5 miles away, and Apple's probably 8. So yeah, definitely local companies. Looks like the Facebook boycott has kind of reached the peak of the mountain. Disney, by some counts, is the largest, or at least was the largest advertiser on Facebook, Instagram, and they've dramatically cut ad spend on Facebook, according to Wall Street Journal. Disney's pretty private, so they don't actually release any numbers or duration. But they basically have said, we've dramatically cut. We do not want to be associated with some of the stuff that we see. And they're hoping that Facebook makes changes. Again, no numbers were given. They didn't say it went to 0. But when your number one advertiser kind of throws it out there, that should get your attention, right? 3 weeks ago, we were talking about nickels and dimes. Now we're talking about dollars. So I think this eventually catches their attention and forces some real action versus just lip service. The stimulus is going to be a big deal the next 2 to 3 weeks. Let's hope they get it right. My suggestion is go bigger than you think you should. The second half counts on it. We've got to get to the other side of this thing. We've got to make sure as many people get to the other side as possible. We don't need to bail out the rich. They have the cash reserves. If you don't need help, let's not give help. But if people need help, let's stop judging people, and let's try to get to the other side of this as possible. Also, it is I don't expect it to be easy. I expect both sides to do what they do and throw darts at each other. But this is the last time to kind of impact before the election, right? People are going to watch. People are going to watch what's going on here. And this could have an outsized, result on who people vote for. So it's going to be interesting, right? If they do nothing, or if they fight each other and nothing gets done, that's not good, right? That goes back to the Jamie Dimon's opening 23% unemployment worst case. It is that kind of decision we are looking at. I think it was on Friday, I talked about the EU leaders getting together and trying to hammer out a economic package. Looks like they're targeting about $2 trillion. But as you would expect, they're, I don't know if you want to call it fighting, maybe disagreement. They're not getting it done. Today they're into their third day of marathon negotiations, and they're not there yet. Certainly a package could still come out, but having to negotiate between, I don't even know how many countries, 15 countries, strong, some weak, can't be easy. It's kind of the downside of the EU, if you will. Kind of the downside of the euro, right? The poor and the rich, the weak and the strong. It's tough. So again, we need Europe. This is a worldwide problem. We need Europe to get to the other side as well. And then the big earnings of the week. I don't know what earnings you're looking forward to. There's lots of them coming out this week. But the one I'll be watching is Tesla on Wednesday. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, Tesla's had some tremendous momentum. So we will see what's going on there. So that's what I got for you today. I do want you to know that I'm creating another live stream. I get asked all the time about 401k investing. Yep, 401k investing versus buy and hold rentals. I've been asked that question enough that I feel like I have to create its own video. So I've thought about it. I put together an outline. I'm going to talk about the differences I see in a 401k versus buy and hold rentals. So that'll probably come out in a little while. And yeah, I think, again, when you guys send me comments or questions and all the thumbs up and all of that, I'm motivated to do more for you. So this is a question I thought I would answer. So I will do that momentarily. All right, everybody, take care.